The story of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny begins in a time when the United States stood on the edge of historic change. The nation was recovering from the Great Depression, industries were rebuilding, and the world was shifting rapidly as war spread across Europe and Asia. It was a year full of anxiety, determination, and uncertainty. In the middle of this era, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents, including the 1941 no-mint mark penny from the Philadelphia Mint. For many Americans, this coin passed through their hands daily without much thought. But today, for collectors, this humble coin has become an exciting piece of American history, especially when found in high-end condition. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for more than 30 years by the time 1941 arrived. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was created to honor the life and legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. When it was first released in 1909, the Lincoln cent became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Up until that point, symbols of liberty, allegorical figures, and classical designs had dominated American currency. The introduction of Lincoln represented a shift toward honoring national heroes and real history. By the time 1941 rolled around, Brenner's design had become iconic. Millions of Americans recognized the wheat ears on the reverse side and the portrait of Lincoln on the obverse instantly. It was a simple design, but timeless. The Philadelphia Mint struck the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in astonishing numbers. More than 887 million pieces were produced, making it one of the most heavily minted cents of its time. These coins poured into circulation nationwide as commerce expanded and people carried pennies in their pockets, wallets, and leather coin purses. Children used them for candy, newspapers were purchased with a few copper cents, and families saved them in glass jars during harder financial times. The penny was not just currency, it was a part of daily American life. At first glance, many collectors might assume that a coin minted in such large numbers could not possibly hold significant value today. After all, nearly every household in the 1940s handled these coins, meaning countless pieces stayed in circulation for decades. Most became worn from years of use. However, the true excitement for collectors lies in rarity of condition, rather than rarity of total numbers. A coin that traveled through generations of hands is common, but a coin that survived untouched, shining as it did when it first left the mint, is something truly special. For this reason, mint-state examples of the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny can command impressive prices, especially when professionally graded. Collectors search for coins with minimal marks, sharp details, bright luster, and eye appeal. These stand out instantly in a market full of heavily circulated pieces. The difference between a penny worth a few cents and one worth hundreds or even thousands can often be determined by the preservation of its surfaces and sharpness of strike. When evaluating a 1941 wheat penny, several features influence its desirability. The sharpness of Lincoln's hair details, the clarity of the lettering, the strength of the wheat stalks on the reverse, and the absence of scratches all play a role. Many coins from this era display bag marks from the striking and transport process. Others develop natural toning over time, with copper shades shifting toward chestnut, red-brown, or dark chocolate hues. Collectors, especially those who build high-grade registries, often prefer the original fiery red mint-state color that reflects the coin's appearance at the moment it was struck. Another reason this coin fascinates collectors is its historical setting. The year 1941 was crucial in American history. It was the year the United States entered World War II after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The resources of the country shifted dramatically toward wartime production. Within 2 years, the government removed copper from cent production entirely and introduced steel pennies in 1943 to conserve metal for ammunition and machinery. This transition makes pre-war copper cents, including the 1941 penny, deeply symbolic. They represent the final years before the nation fully mobilized for war. Many families saved coins before sons, husbands, and fathers left to serve overseas. Some pennies were placed into savings tins or war bond envelopes, left untouched for decades, only to be rediscovered many years later in attics, basements, and old wooden trunks. There are also collectors intrigued by the era variants that occasionally appear in 1941 cents. Some coins were struck with double die obverse features, leading to noticeable doubling in the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." Such errors are rare but can dramatically increase the coin's market value. Other pieces may show off center strikes, clipped planchets, or other mint anomalies that occurred as the mint pushed production into high gear. Even a minor deviation from perfection can set a coin apart and make it more appealing to avid numismatists. Yet, even without errors, a well-preserved cent from 1941 has become a desirable item in the modern coin market. Collectors today appreciate not just the rarity of condition but also the role this coin played in American life. It is a small artifact that reflects economic struggle, recovery, and the approach of global conflict. It is a reminder of everyday commerce before credit cards, digital payments, and modern banking. This penny once jingled in the pockets of factory workers, farmers, soldiers in training, mothers doing grocery shopping, and children trading marbles and baseball cards. When these coins surface today in high grades, often they arrive with stories. A coin might have been tucked away in a grandfather's collection, stored in a carefully protected album, or forgotten in a bankroll sealed in the 1940s. Others emerge from estate auctions where families uncover forgotten collections that had been passed down for generations. Every time such a coin reappears, collectors rush for the chance to obtain a piece of American history frozen in time. Professional coin grading services such as PCGS and NGC have helped standardize the evaluation of these coins, giving collectors confidence when buying and selling. A 1941 penny graded in the highest ranges can bring astonishing prices when it appears on the market. As demand for early Lincoln cents continues to grow, especially among younger collectors and registry competitors, the value of these exceptional survivors keeps climbing. So when someone looks at an ordinary worn penny from 1941, they may see just a simple copper coin. But when a mint-state example is held in the hand, its shine tells a different story. It speaks of the precision of the minting process, the careful preservation that protected it for more than 8 decades, and the fascinating journey of American currency. It represents a moment in history, a piece of culture, and a collectible treasure all in one. Today, the most stunning examples of the 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny have crossed auction blocks and exceeded expectations from bidders who understand the rarity of such coins. The right penny in the right condition can achieve impressive value, despite its humble origins and massive production numbers. And in one memorable instance, a pristine example of this wartime-era coin sold for an incredible $18,277. Welcome back to World Information HD, your go-to source for hidden treasures and numismatic secrets. Today, we're diving into the world of Lincoln pennies, but not just any pennies. We're talking about the ultra-rare, $1,000,000 cents that even seasoned collectors dream of finding. In this video, we'll spotlight 2 of the most valuable Lincoln pennies in history, coins born from minting mistakes, wartime mix-ups, and tiny design quirks, and explain why they've sold for millions. Whether you're a coin enthusiast or just someone checking loose change, you might be closer to a fortune than you think. The history of United States coinage is filled with fascinating stories, rare minting varieties, and small treasures that today have become extremely collectible. Among the many coins that have captured the attention of collectors, the 1942 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny stands out as a classic example of wartime American currency, high demand among numismatists, and surprising value when found in well-preserved condition. In this video, we explore not just the coin itself, but the era that created it, how it was minted, its rarity, the details collectors examine when determining value, and how a simple 1-cent coin can turn into a life-changing discovery. The 1942 Lincoln wheat cent was produced during a unique moment in American history. It was the year the United States was fully involved in World War II. Materials were scarce, industries and metals were redirected to military production, and the nation was focused on victory abroad. Coins of the era, including the Lincoln cent, reflect both the design continuity of the past and the preparation for major changes that would arrive the following year. While the 1942 penny still used the standard bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, This was the last full year before the emergency switched to steel in 1943 when copper was needed for ammunition production. This makes the 1942 wheat penny one of the final coins issued in the original composition that collectors love. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the no-mint mark 1942 penny is instantly recognizable by its classic Lincoln portrait on the obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait has remained in use for over a century and is among the longest-running coin designs in world history. The reverse features the iconic wheat ears design, representing prosperity and the agricultural strength of the nation. Even though millions of these coins were minted, their value today depends on several factors, especially condition and unique minting characteristics. Most coins were heavily circulated because pennies were used constantly. From everyday grocery stores to old cash registers, children buying candy, and workers counting wages, these coins passed through countless hands. A circulated example typically shows noticeable wear. Lincoln's cheekbones flatten, the details in the hair fade, and the wheat lines on the reverse lose their sharpness. While circulated coins are common and often worth only a small premium, uncirculated specimens tell a different story. When preserved in their original luster, these coins can carry substantial value today. Collectors judge the coin using a grading scale that runs from poor to mint state. In low grades, the coin has been worn down nearly smooth but still has a readable date. Mid-level grades such as fine and very fine begin to show stronger detail and better surfaces. In high grades, especially mint state or MS, the coin displays full sharpness, strong original color, and little to no handling marks. Some 1942 wheat pennies can even achieve red designation, meaning that the original red copper color has been preserved for over 80 years. These coins are rare and in high demand, but grading alone is not the only factor. Sometimes coins contain minting anomalies or errors that increase value dramatically. While the 1942 Philadelphia Mint is not famous for a large number of dramatic errors, some have appeared throughout collections. Off-center strikes, repunched dates, die cracks, and lamination errors are a few known varieties. Even minor imperfections can make the coin stand out among millions of others. When collectors submit these coins to third-party grading services such as PCGS or NGC, even small variations can push the value into impressive territory if the coin also has strong eye appeal. Understanding the history behind these coins helps collectors appreciate why they are so desirable. The United States in 1942 was forging war materials at unprecedented speed. Factories previously producing automobiles, appliances, and everyday goods shifted to building tanks, ammunition, and aircraft. Copper was one of the most critical wartime metals because it was used in shell casings, communication equipment, and even aviation components. With shortages mounting, the government began discussions about replacing the copper in pennies. This is why the following year saw the famous 1943 steel cent, an experimental coin composition that today is equally famous among collectors. Because 1942 was the final standard bronze year before the transition, it holds a special place in numismatic history. For collectors today, several tips can help determine whether a 1942 penny is worth significant money. First, examine the coin under good lighting or magnification to determine surface condition. If Lincoln's cheek and jawline still show crisp detail, this suggests a lower level of circulation. Look closely at the coat lines, the lettering on Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." Strong sharp lines indicate a mint state or near mint state coin. On the reverse, the fine lines inside the wheat ears should stand out clearly. If these interior fibers are missing or flat, the coin has seen more use and falls into a lower grade range. Color is also important. Collectors classify old copper coins into three general designations: red, red-brown, and brown. A coin that still looks bright and copper-colored is the rarest and most valuable. As the color fades and darkens with time, the grade designation lowers. Even a high-grade brown coin can still be valuable, but a coin retaining its original red surface has dramatic appeal and scarcity. Collectors also frequently check for cleaning. Many old coins were polished or cleaned in the past by owners who thought they were improving them. Unfortunately, this usually lowers value dramatically because cleaning leaves unnatural shine, hairline scratches, and chemical damage visible to grading experts. A natural surface with original patina is always preferred, even if the coin has minor marks. Another major factor is authentication and certification. Professional grading services encapsulate coins and secure holders with guaranteed grading labels. A 1942 no-mint mark penny that has been professionally certified in mint state with strong color and no issues can command significantly higher prices at auctions or private sales. Auction records show that some of these coins have brought impressive sums, especially when they combine rarity, condition, and aesthetic appeal. A coin collector discovering a high-grade 1942 wheat penny is not just finding metal. They are holding a small piece of wartime America, a preserved artifact from a year of global uncertainty and national unity. Coins from this period carry the spirit of an era when everyday Americans saved scrap metal, purchased war bonds, and supported the effort in countless small ways. Pennies from 1942 passed through the hands of soldiers, families, store clerks, and children. Each one represents a moment in American economic life that shaped the world. Stories exist of collectors finding valuable examples in everyday places. Old jars tucked away in basement corners, dusty dresser drawers, inherited coin albums, and even change left behind in antique boxes have revealed hidden gems. Many families never imagined that a simple rolled penny saved decades ago would later be worth far more than face value. This is why coin collectors continue to examine pocket change even today. The next rare discovery can appear anywhere. The value of the 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny is not just measured in dollars, but in its ability to connect modern collectors with the past. Yet its actual market price can still surprise many new hobbyists. High-grade certified examples with strong color have sold at auction for more than $22,377.